Hello and welcome to the Flory Models Friday Roundup Show. Here we are with you on March the 10th, 2023. A incredibly busy week. We've got tons and tons of stuff to get through. So anyway, let's get straight on with it. So obviously on Saturday, we actually had our live show. So if you wanted to join us, you could have done. It was free to watch and all the rest of it. You could comment on YouTube as well as on a members chat. Big thank you to everybody who joined us. We had a massive load of you following us live. And I managed to push on very nicely with my CL215. This is the old Helikit. And as you can see, after the show in the afternoon, I did a little bit more to it. So we basically just got all the rest of the red on here. And then I went along and we gave it a gloss coat, which is, to be honest, is that Goozy stuff, AK stuff. And again, it's one of those products that I've got 2 bottles of it here. I've had it now for, well, since it got released. Used it, did a couple of demos on it and showed it, and there's a review on it somewhere, but never really used it. I tend to use lacquers. I like lacquers. They dry really quick. You get a really nice glossy finish with them, and they're a lot better than using Future. And to be honest with you, when using the Goozy stuff, I thought, you know, it's because it's acrylic. It's like a slightly thinner version of Future. So, you know, didn't really use it. I'm just used to using lacquers and things. This time, because we've been talking about it, and Matt's been championing it recently doing his work, I thought, do you know what? I'll give it a blast over this. And as you can see how shiny this is, this stuff's brilliant. It's one of those products you have and you just overlook it. It's so easy to overlook the product. There's so many products now with modelling that all roughly do the same thing that you overlook them. But actually, this was flat yellow, flat red. And you look at it now, it is absolutely glossy and gorgeous. And this has had 1 coat of the Goozy agent just sprayed right the way over it and left it. Admittedly, I had a few puddles, so I had to go round and pop along with a brush and just, you know, any bit where it was building up, bits of drips and that, just rub them off. But they ate into themselves, and obviously it didn't affect anywhere either. And as you can see, it dried, leveled out, sorted itself out, and has gone on absolutely beautiful. So very, very happy with that. So yeah, it's funny how you tend to overlook stuff. You're like, yeah, no, I'm used to using lacquers, I'll stick to lacquers. Gave it a whirl. Very, very impressed, to be honest with you. And again, not the smell and all the nasties you get with lacquers and things. So anyway, it is a little bit further on. What I'm going to do is probably another next live show. I'll be getting the decals onto this one. Then we'll do a little bit of weather into it. And then we're going to make up our mind of how we're going to display it, because technically we can put it on its gear, or we can try and do it doing a water drop, which I've never done it before. Seen lots of people do it brilliantly, and I think I'll make a right hash of it. But anyway, it might be fun just to watch me fail, if nothing else. So anyway, stay tuned for this one. Next live show we'll be on. We're going to do those live shows probably about 1 a month. That's the plan for it. And then obviously we're doing our big ones for certain holidays and breaks and things like that, as always, for full weekends and stuff. But anyway, it is nice to do the Saturday shows. It's just relaxed. If you want to come along, enjoy it. You can watch it as a replay as well, obviously. But if you've got any questions, you can just shout them out to us, and, you know, any feedback, things like that. And it's just generally a really nice way of starting your weekend. Bit of modelling, bit on the bench, things like that. Really, really do enjoy doing those shows. But anyway, I thought I'd share that with you because I carried on afterwards, and actually very, very impressed with it. And to be honest, considering everything I do is normally weathered and horrible, it's nice to do something that's quite nice and shiny. So yeah, definitely. So anyway, that's up there. If you want to see all those builds, it's all on the live stuff. You can go off. It is up on social media. You can go and catch up with all of those. Week though started on Monday. So we had the first part of the Edard Spitfire up there. So anyway, this is going to be one of my mini super builds. So it's a 48 scale. You might remember that I did something very similar to this to a Typhoon. I did it to the Airfix 24 scale Typhoon. We completely did the engine. We did everything. We ripped the entire thing apart. It's like a skeleton version. So I thought it'd be quite nice to do something with a Tempest, but a bit smaller. So as you can see on here, we've got the look set for it. We've got the browsing set for the actual metal gear and the doors. We've got a full engine, and there's a couple of other bits as well. All right. So as you can see, we had a bit of a look round, and in part 1, we look at basically the build ahead, see what we're going to do to it, and then we start to put it together. And this engine, to be honest with you, is absolutely gorgeous because it just got so much detail. We talk about tips and tricks. So I'm just talking about the old eyelash applicator brushes there, which, or you can call them micro brushes, I think somebody calls them. But anyway, couple of quid for a couple of hundred, so it's a bargain. Anyway, right the way through, popping it all together, you can see all these details going in there. Start to get the plumbing on it and all the rest of it just down in there as well. So anyway, that is part 1. That went up with you on Monday. If you'll look at the bits I'm using, the various other bits as well, you can carry on and you can just watch that one right now. Tuesday, we had a little bit of a change around because unfortunately Matt got called away, so we couldn't do our usual PM sort of Matt and Phil show on live. So anyway, I did a bit of a show, and obviously going right the way through talking about things and everything from mental health through to modelling, through to obviously the wash coming up and stuff like that as well. So yeah, anyway, that is all down in there. Members, you can go off and see that one right now. Up on Wednesday was obviously for the PM show, as always. So live from PM Towers, we've got Matt and that, who isn't at PM Towers actually. But we were basically talking about all the latest new kit releases, which I've got next to me now. And obviously I was talking about, Azor's Blue and how I want to do something with it. So I might have actually just be able to buy one of these, get yourself a boo for. So yes, anyway, if you want to catch up with that and all the latest comings and goings, obviously from the PM store, what's going on, things like that as well, and what we're up to, you can catch that one up. That is about free to watch. Anybody can watch that one. That one is up with you right now. Then obviously we did have the actual show. So obviously I hijacked it a bit of this with the new wash. The new thick wash. So Matt's here having a go with it in anger and basically playing with it and doing all his bits and pieces. But it was our usual sort of podcast show where we talk about everything from the price of kinetic kits right the way through to, obviously the wash. And then, to be honest, we hijacked the show with using the wash and the various things to it. So anyway, if you want to catch up for that one, that is up for members right now. It's about an hour and a quarter because we got totally carried away with that one on there, but there we go. There's Matt using the wash in anger. And then obviously that gets you bang up to today. So up with you today is part 2 of this fantastic build of the Edard Tempest. And again, it is an absolute mega kit. The detail is brilliant. And as you can see, this is it all together and just literally into primer. So we've just got the bits all down in there then we're talking about obviously cutting off large chunks off your plastic kit and how to make sure you've got it right before you go in, and we talk about the best way of doing that. And then obviously we're going right the way through the painting and the weathering of it. So I use dark iron buffables for doing the engine, and then we go into about buffing it up as well, so you can see you get that nice sort of three-dimensional effect to your paintwork. Next off, we go off and do some of the interior green work, so we do a lot of the paneling inside the cockpit, all the sort of the various bits around the engine, things like that. And then obviously some more detailed painting. So again, using buffables pretty much right the way through with this. So we use a little bit of brass for doing the brass work on the actual engine. We use a little bit of the aluminium, so around here on the actual air intake, the radiator, down in there, getting that one all sorted, and the intake, I suppose. Then it's into weathering. So again, dry brushing, and we make up some oils using a little bit of the old Abtalung 502s. And we go through the motions of it like that, doing all of those ones, and there they are all ready for assembly. And again, that will get you right the way over to here, where here she is. I've assembled it ready for the next part, which will be up with you next week. So you can see the detail that goes into this. This is literally just the Brazin set for the actual the Tempest, and as you can see, it's an absolute beast. It really is very, very nice, as you can see, with all those details down in here. And it's amazing the detail in this. This is resin, one-piece cast resin for the bottom there and all the rest of it. That is absolutely beautiful. But just generally, all the smaller parts that are done right the way through. So really, we are pretty much ready to go. So next up for this one, I'll be getting the cockpit done. So we'll get the cockpit done, and then we can obviously get these two halves together. Then we can think about obviously getting the engine onto the front here and all the rest of it, although we'll probably put that on a little bit afterwards. We might even do the painting before we actually install the actual front end onto this, just to keep it a little bit safe. It is nice and solid. It's a good solid fit right the way through on this one. But definitely, it's one of those kits which has really, really made such a difference by sticking this in, because it's going to look absolutely fantastic. I am going to do a little bit of a base for it and all the rest of it. Which is my sort of plan with this one. It's going to be a little photo one with it down in there, so it can be displayed as if it's got the engines all open. Maybe it's having an engine swap, or it's had something, big job on it, overhaul. So anyway, we can show that right the way through. So really, really looking forward to that build. It is a lot of fun, and that Edard kit, again, you forget sometimes just how nice their kits are. They are beautiful kits. They go together really, really nicely. But the great thing about this one, it's got all the recess detail and raised. So fantastic. Really very, very nice kits. I must admit, I do like them. Do like working on it. And I'm coming off the back of last year. It's nice to do something that's this big instead of stupid big with sprues everywhere and don't know where to put it and can't work on it and can't get it under the camera and stuff like that. So yes, lots of stuff. Anyway, the big news this week, clearly, isn't those, because we'll talk about those in a minute, is this. So this is the brand new thick weathering wash, all right? It's basically soluble paint wash, if you like. It's still the clay, it's still everything you know from our original wash and all the rest of it, but it's a lot thicker. It's the thickness really of paint, if not thicker. So when you spray it on, like we did down onto this guy, it goes on and it sticks. It will self-level, sort itself out, and it will just hold there, giving you a really, really nice natural finish. So as you can see down on here, we've just done this one. There's a whole video showing this. This is a kit that I built roughly around about 12 years ago, and we gave it a quick coat of this 10-minute job just to get us to this. And also we talk about thickening up the wash, as you can see down the bottom down in here, even thicker. We used it for spattering and everything, but as you can see, you can really, really go to town on this and do some really very, very nice weathering effects. Now, this did go on sale, obviously, yesterday for the members, and then obviously up on sale now. Full details of it are over on the site. So literally, if you come into the main site, there'll be links down below. You can find this. It's got the demo video. So this is the overall, you know, what you can expect from the wash and all the rest of it. This is the one that I've done on the winter camo right the way through, and there's another video down in here which shows you about doing mud and spatter tricks and things like that with it. But basically, as I say, we turned that, and then very quickly we just sprayed it, so you got that. That's just unthinned straight out of the light wash right the way over it. And then obviously we just went along and did some wear and tear, and it was a quick 10-minute job. Very, very straightforward, no problem at all with it, as you can see, to give you pretty much. All the washes will work just the same. They're all fully water soluble, so just tap water cleanup. You can knock all of this straight off, or as you say, you can just use it like you would an oil. So very, very mild brush with a tiniest little bit of damp brush with it. Give it a rub. You'll notice you can rub through it. You can dry brush through it. You can do, well, a myriad of different weathering effects, really, until you end up with something like this. There we go. You can spatter it. You can add some pigments to it. You can thicken it up. You can mix all the colors. You know what it's like with my stuff. You can pretty much do whatever you want with it. But anyway, 4 bits and pieces just down on here. It is for sale over in the store area. So now if you go up into the store, just click on our store link, you can come in, and obviously they are down in here as well. So obviously if you do the box set, you get it basically a bottle free down in there. And then obviously we've still got our traditional normal wash as well. So you've got the thin wash or the thick, and obviously we've got our pigments, and we've got all our merch down below. I'm sure you've probably seen all the videos that are out there on social media, because I keep pushing them up. You've got a few more to come up, and again, we'll add those down into this one. Don't forget as well, if you want to buy it direct as well, High Altitude Hobbies should be getting their delivery today. You know, it's one of those things. It's taken its time to come across from me to the US because it got caught up in customs, but it should be cleared now. So Brett has got his right now. So if you are in the US, you can order yours directly now from highaltitudehobbies.com. If you're in the US, you probably get it a little bit quicker than you certainly get it from down in here. Down there, and then we want, sorry, there's the other one, Serious Models. Obviously in Greece. So if you're in the EU, you can order the washes direct from them as well. So they'll be having those up very, very soon. Again, they are literally, because of industrial action in Germany, been held up a little bit in the post system, but they should be getting theirs within a day or two as well. So if you want to hold on or, you know, order them as well, you get through obviously Serious Models in Greece. And that means obviously if you're in the EU, it makes it a lot easier because you're not going to get clobbered with import duties and various things like that as well. But just pop along, you can see those will be in stock with those very, very soon. And obviously the guys over at PM Models as well, they will have it in stock. You can pop in down in here. If you just go over to the store, you've got the Flory model section down in here. You can pop in, you can go through, and you can buy the washes literally just down in there. They are out of stock of a few, but they'll get a restock on Tuesday. So you can say the new washes are down in there as well. So if you want to grab those, you can get all of those as well. So again, it's just been one of those ones, incredibly busy. Sorry, there we go, making this stuff up. We've made around about 4,500 bottles. I've got another 500 to go, and then hopefully that'll keep us going for a little bit. As you say, you can buy them individually, you can buy them as a box set, you can add them to your other orders and go right the way through. I said there'll be more stuff about how to use this stuff up on social media, but think of it, it's basically a thickness of paint these days, and it's water soluble, and it doesn't matter. You can leave it on here and then reattack this as I did the other day. So keep going back to it again and again. You can overcoat it. You know what it's like. It's one of my products. It means it's totally safe. It's just water. Just put warm water on it and this stuff will just run off. It's as simple as that. Very, very straightforward. Last up, as you can see, big delivery in from PM at last. So I have got the Sikorsky CH54 Obviously for the Sky Crane, really looking forward to having a look at that. I'm probably going to hold off building it purely because I want to do another version that I'm hopeful they're going to bring out. So I'm probably going to hold off of doing that one. One I will be doing later on in the year is this little lump though, because I just love the idea of this. And this is that sort of conning tower front sort of deck area on the actual U-boat as well. It just looks fantastic and the detail looks very, very nice. So review and a build of that coming up definitely very, very soon. And another one I'm going to be building as well because I love it is the MI-17. Got a thing for the hip, a flying DCS. Anybody who knows DCS knows that one. And yeah, it's one of my stable ones that I fly all the time, the hip. So really looking forward to seeing how the ANK one stacks up because let's face it, got competition. There's lots of other ones around, like helicopters. One comes along and now you get all of them together. So, but anyway, these reviews will be up with you next week. We'll get those sorted. I've got classic reviews to get on with. I have got some work to get on with as well. But as you might imagine, manufacturing, producing, and then selling all the wash, it's just me and my partner doing it. There's nobody else involved with it. So it does take a little bit of time. It's been sort of burning the midnight oil doing those. Massive, massive thank you to everybody who's bought the wash already. Hundreds of you have. As you can appreciate, we are now swamped with orders. We're getting through them just as fast as we possibly can. We'll be working right the way through the weekend to get them out to you as well. But if there is a small delay, to say I like to get them out next day to you, but if there is a delay, it'll be 2 or 3 days at the most, and I'm hopeful by the beginning of next week normality will return and we'll just be back to normal of getting them out to you for the next day. But they're all sent first class UK 24-hour, and obviously rest of the world they're sent priority mail as well, so it's going to be with you very, very shortly. But don't forget, you can get it from our friends over obviously at High Altitude Hobbies, Series Models, PM Models, things like that. So if you want to grab them from there, you can do as well. That's about it for me. So I'm off to make up more wash and package up more of your orders because literally I've only stopped for an hour just to do this, and then we'll be back at it to get those orders out to you. So that's it from me. No show on Monday from me purely because I've been taking this doing everything. I've got something to do on Monday and then Tuesday back at it. But obviously, don't worry, we'll be getting those orders out. We'll get more bits of the Tempest up to you next week. And obviously, I'll get these reviews done as well. As always, on a Friday, I'm going to leave you with your great work from the gallery. So until Tuesday, everybody, happy modelling. Take care.
I was not ready to falling like I'm wasted. My heart grows heavy. Don't taste me rushing and keep your words naked. You got me blushing, and you forever I'll follow. You'll be my holy ground. You forever I'll follow in immortality. I can see you and me free in immortality. I can see you and me free. You left me crying and running through a ghost town, alone and stranded. Why leave me hoping and guessing for the answers? No